I'm leaving my boyfriend over a prank. I'm still a bit shaken up, so if this doesn't make much sense, I apologize. I, 18F, have been with my boyfriend, 20M, for almost 2 years. I moved in with him last August and things have been pretty rocky. My whole life I've struggled with my mental health, specifically depression, anxiety, and self-harm. I've been clean for a while though. I also have a history of trauma, but I don't need to get into that. I made sure my boyfriend knew this when we started dating because I wanted him to be able to get out of the relationship if that was too much for him to deal with. He assured me it wasn't an issue. He never seemed to really get the whole mental health thing though. He would make comments saying stuff like depression is just spicy sad and people with trauma should just get over it. He also thinks that only veterans can get PTSD. I've tried explaining things to him, but he just brushes me off, so I do the best to ignore him. Recently he started watching couple prank channels on YouTube and he started pranking me. At first, it was just small things like putting way too much flavor in my water or salt in a bite of my food. I laughed it off, it didn't really bother me. But then he started jumping out and scaring me. That kind of stuff really affects me sometimes because of my PTSD, and I tried to explain that to him. He would apologize but do it again the next day. I was getting annoyed and frustrated, but I tried to let it be. Things escalated when last week when he put some noisemakers under the toilet seat in the middle of the night. I woke up to go to the bathroom and sat down, boom. It being late at night, me being half awake, and the loud noise all mixed together and gave me a full-blown panic attack. I was on the bathroom floor crying and having flashbacks. After I don't know how long I stopped crying and was just staring into space, having flashbacks. He came in because I guess he noticed I was gone for a while. When he saw me sitting on the floor, he remembered his little prank and started laughing. I just stared at him for a second, got up and called him an ass. I slept in the living room the rest of the night. The next day I sat him down and I told him he cannot keep scaring me like this. No more jumping out at me, no more loud noises. He pretty much sighed and rolled his eyes, but he said he would stop. Everything was fine for a week. I thought this whole prank thing was finally over. Yesterday I got home from being out with a friend, actually feeling better for the first time in a while. When I walked in the house all the lights were off, so I assumed he was still at work, which isn't abnormal because sometimes he works late. I plugged my phone in because it died on my way back home, and when it powered on I got a notification that he sent me a text. It just read, "So sorry, I love you." I replied saying it's okay, I'll see you when you get home, love you. And I heard his phone ding in the bathroom. That was weird, I thought. I got up to go get his phone, and when I got into the bathroom I saw him laying in the bathtub. The bath was full of water, there was an empty bottle of pills on the sink, and he was covered in blood. His wrists were cut and there was just so much blood. My heart just sank. I started having a panic attack. I was hyperventilating, crying, and I was just frozen. After a minute I ran to the living room to get my phone to call 911, and I hear splashing and then laughter. I turned around to see him standing in the hallway just laughing. He said he got me and I should have seen the look on my face. I don't even know how to describe the feelings I was experiencing. I was so mad and sad and scared. I didn't even say anything, I just walked out of the house. I just kept walking and eventually I figured I needed to call my friend to come get me. At first, I didn't tell her what happened, I just told her I needed her to come get me, it was an emergency. She came and took me back to her house where I'm at now. My boyfriend keeps calling me and he sent me some texts saying he was sorry and it was just a joke and I'm overreacting and I need to come home. I'm not answering. I don't even know what I would say to him. My friend is going over to his house tomorrow to get my things when he's at work. She said I can stay with her however long I need. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just feel numb. Update the next day. Thankfully today wasn't as eventful as I was expecting it to be. I ended up sending my, now ex-boyfriend a text saying that he crossed a line and I don't want to hear from him again. I blocked him on everything after sending that and I'm planning on changing my number tomorrow. My friend went over to his house around noon today with her boyfriend and was able to retrieve most of my stuff without issue. She got all my personal documents, sentimental items, medication, and clothes. The only things she wasn't able to grab were the TV and Xbox I paid for because I'm not sure how I can go about getting those back without him accusing me of stealing them. I'm not sure that fight is even worth it right now. Before she left she put my copy of his house key on the kitchen table so he knew I didn't have it. She wanted to unplug his fridge and all his appliances just to make things harder for him, but I told her not to. I really don't want to add fuel to this fire. His mom reached out to me to ask what was going on. Apparently, he called her and told her that I had some sort of mental breakdown and ran away and that he was worried about me. I told her what happened and what he did. She was pissed. She said she thought she raised him better than that and that she was sorry he did what he did. She said that if I need anything I can let her know and she'll do what she can do help me. I guess his mom told his older sister what happened and she also reached out to me to apologize for his behavior. I wasn't close to her, but I met her a few times and she's a really nice person. She offered to help with anything I needed and told me that she was going to make sure everyone knows what actually happened. I told her it wasn't necessary, but I appreciated it, but she said she wasn't going to let her brother get away with this. I'm not going to argue, so I thanked her. For the most part, I've just been lying in bed today. I'm so exhausted physically and emotionally. I wish I had left him sooner. There were red flags that I just ignored. I guess I was afraid of being alone, I don't know. I'm trying not to blame myself for this whole situation, but I feel like I put myself in this position. This is what I get. I'm not expecting much else to happen. God, I hope nothing else happens. I'll probably give one more update in a few days as long as things have cooled down. If something significant happens, you'll hear from me. Thank you all for your kind words and your advice. It's very much appreciated and definitely needed.